think that clerk was going to come up here?
Correct.
All right, back on the ready? Well, I hadn't spoke to him yet. Okay, so City of Madison, and the issue is that we've got this handwriting here. It says voter initialed by mistake Robert Earl, maybe poll worker Dim in Park, and just that's the objection. So I think the clerk is going to speak to that a little bit. Jim.
But before the clerk, I want to just point out that there are the initials for Mary Beth. The ballot was issued appropriately, and that's initial with just extra marks on the ballot.
They just screwed up an initial there for some unknown reason. This is the clerk initial.
You want to have what Jim has to say about it?
I mean, is it pretty self-explanatory?
I feel like it's probably self-explanatory. We already had the clerk's initials in the absentee ballot issued by, and it looks like the voter made their initials in the ballot issued by.
But do you know when, like, so it says, so the clerk made the initials, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then, like, it gets stuck in the envelope,
Yes,
and then it went out.
to the voter, yes.
Okay, and then what happened after that? I mean, if you know, if you don't know. So did they turn it back in? Yeah, what's the theory?
Yeah, the theory is that they brought it to Democracy in the Park, they voted it there, and then made their initial in the ballot issue.
Put it in the envelope
Yeah.
and they were just looking for a witness. So they're bringing
Yeah.
the envelope and the ballot to Democracy in the Park, looking for a witness.
Okay.
Presumably.
Okay,
We're
okay.
guessing.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Did we decide this? I mean, it's good.
I mean, there's nothing illegal about any of this. The rest of the ballot's fine.
That was a good
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I know there was misinformation around the voters thinking they could sign the ballot or make some sort of mark on
Probably
it.
right.
Yep.
3-0. It's okay. Yeah, 3-0 is fine.
This one, you're not all going to be needed for this one.
This is an express vote from the same board. There's no initials at all.
Okay, 2-1.
Yeah, so what we've got here is City of Madison, Ward 17, Ward 11, and Ward 17 again. And our concern with this is that we're seeing the same signature come across the table multiple times. Susan Gilbert, and I think this was name is Sarah Adams. And this would go back to our original argument about whether or not these individuals who are acting as public office officials match that list that we were shared. Because each one of these that were shared with us, because each one of these are at the Hawthorne Library. So we need to make sure that these persons were given the authority to act in that capacity.
And we'd say, first of all that's shown here is that they witnessed these signatures. You don't need to be any sort of official to witness a signature. In addition, Nikki with the city can testify to who these people are.
Sue Adams and Susan Gilbert are both appointed election officials who have taken an oath of office, and they were helping out at the libraries as well in the city county building with us.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
So you know them as like their helpers? Is that what you said?
They're appointed election officials who we invited to help us.
So you see me kind of talk about some of those lists that was created. So
Yeah.
I could probably find their names on those lists.
You should definitely be able to find them on both of the lists, both for helping at the CCD and then possibly at the libraries. Some days we were short-staffed, so we pulled some of our helpers at the CCD and directed them to the libraries.
Okay, you said that they took an oath. Can you explain that a little more?
So they are election officials. So they help on election day. So all of our election day election officials take an oath of office and they're appointed. They're either appointed by their parties or our mayor and sworn in by council. Or sorry, approved by council. Confirmed.
Like city council, not like legal council.
No, city council.
Okay, city
City
council.
council.
Okay, do you know if there's like minutes or something that this all happened at one time?
Yep. They're usually done on 2-year cycles, I believe. And it's usually somewhere in the late fall is when they take these up. I don't know the exact date, but it's.
When you say take these up, are you talking about take the oath up or take these people up?
Yeah, so they take their oath of office, and then Mary Beth submits a list of election officials, and then the council confirms.
And And so, is there a difference between the election officials and like the helpers? Because that's not clear.
Sure, there are.
You keep saying helpers, I'm not sure what helpers.
There was this list, you probably didn't see that list. There was this separate list that said like absentee voting and drive-in. We put it in the record as Trump 14. So you probably haven't seen it, and maybe you want to wait and see that, but that seemed to be sort of less official, more helper assistance.
There are two categories of employees. There are our hired absentee voting clerks, which are hourly positions. They're hired through the civil service process, the same as I am.
Okay.
And the other staff in our office besides Mary Beth. Then we have election officials who are appointed and they take an oath of office. So those are just the distinction between the two.
Okay, and then there's also volunteers and deputy clerks.
We have one deputy clerk, Jim.
Okay, I was wondering about the. I know. There's Jim. Yeah, so the deputized clerks, I guess.
So Mary Beth is the city clerk, and she is the only appointed official of permanent full-time staff in our office.
Right.
And she does hear.
Okay, but I guess what I'm saying is there was talk earlier, maybe you weren't here, there was a lot of talk about like these people were deputized to do these things and stuff like that. Do you know what that's talking about?
Again, so I just explained that there's two separate categories.
Oh, okay,
There
so the ones that are
appointed
paid.
election officials.
Okay, okay.
And our election officials are paid as well.
Sure, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was wondering if there was another category beyond that. So, okay, when people, okay,
Yeah, the pandemic has created a lot of crossover between with the job saving, so
sure.
understandable.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you need to see the Trump 14 to understand what I'm talking about?
Just as the Trump 14 say.
Why don't we keep this on the record? We don't,
we will roll on these.
we're gonna, yeah.
Well, I didn't want to step on his toes to not get to see an exhibit that I was referencing, so.
I'll take a look later.
You guys can talk about it later. Joyce, what's your view on these?
I think they're all good.
Okay, so
3-0.
3 zip, they're good.
Okay, I have two more that need to be
Scott?
I have all these too. Why don't we do the review? Let's do the objections first, huh? There.
Oh, yeah, we got,
These are very simple. They're just missing the initials on each of the express vote ballots. There's 3 here.
okay, so those are 2-1, they're good.
Nice. Ward 17.
There's no initials on them,
Right.
on bound. One, again.
Okay, Ward 11.
Same issue, it's just a different ward. 3 of the express votes. And what ward was this?
11.
11.
2-1, they're good.
Oh, no, we're still going.
Scott?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, I remember this one. So this is A630, and those signatures of the voter and signatures of the witness just look really close. So that's why I objected to it.
We'd object to a drawdown. There's no signature matching requirement. You don't know for sure that the signatures match.
I'd say they're pretty
It's
close.
both signed and witnessed.
I'd say that one's the closest one we've had.
Pretty close.
Yeah. Well, if we had a signature match in this state, that would be, but we don't, so 2-1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
So this one feels like to us that this was secured by the clerk because it's circled, and then it's also been handwritten in, and then they've got initials here as if it was done, and none of those initials match any of this handwriting or anything like that. So we would say this would be cured by the clerk and object to it.
And those are 3-0, right? Because the clerks
And
were
this
told
is
to do that.
this is an envelope with A675.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Good. Good and bad.
They got little stars on them.
This one's very simple. This was a good ballot, but it did. This was the bad ballot, but it doesn't have the initials on it. This one seems to cast an overvote, and then it ended up like being written in. But our problem with these overvotes is that we can't tell if someone else wrote this in or something like that at a later time. That's one of the issues. And then once you flip over here to the good ballot, they just wrote Joe Biden, so they didn't fill it in or anything. So that's just bothersome to us. This is a little bit quirky and a little bit different.
Could you flip this one for me?
Sorry, let's do count.
You said there was no initials. There actually are initials on the original ballot.
Yeah, but the when this is a remake, there either needs to be initials right here, which is down in this right-hand corner of the front, or there needs to be initials on that sticker, which is labeled bad ballot. There's no initials there, and then on the good ballot, there's no initials as well.
And we'd also say that this is clearly a vote. I think the remade ballot clearly reflects the intent of the voter. Not only did they mark Joe Biden, they wrote in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, which takes precedent in the statute.
Yeah, and obviously a spurious write-in for the county treasurer.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd want that guy as your county treasurer.
Vote this down.
So, yeah, I think we can see what happened. I hear your point, but but what do you? This is fine with me, Joyce.
I
No, 2-1.
reject.
So they
Yeah.
would like Scott to be county treasurer. Is
Yeah.
that?
And county
Yeah,
treasurer.
yeah.
This
Got
is,
Scott.
it's good, 2 and keep, okay.
Oh my bad. I didn't look at it. Sorry.
Here's another one.
Another
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
It looks like they just didn't realize there's another.
Yeah, this is the exact same issue basically. No initials on the bad ballot. Joyce, do you mind flipping the bad ballot over? And there's no initials on the front with a remake. And see, now we've got an assist on this one as well. So Joyce, can you flip it back over? So now you got an assist messing up, and then they basically put everybody but Donald Trump, and then they wrote in Joe Biden. So just the whole thing with voter intent and everything is just fishy as well. And then the good ballot also doesn't have any initials. So that's why we're objecting to this.
And we don't know that the assistant messed up, as he said. This may have been exactly what the voter wanted, and the voter's intent is clear. They wrote in Joseph Biden. They wrote in Kamala Harris. They marked that more heavily than anything else, which is what the good ballot
Voted for you
reflects.
too.
There's two that are exactly the
they're-
same with the same rip too. Did you notice that?
Right.
Yeah.
And they also both wrote in, I mean, you gotta talk to your peeps.
Yeah, I don't want to be treasurer. So okay, it's the same. So the vote would be the same 2-1. Thanks.
Yep, we got more.
We got one more of something. These are maybe easier.
I believe these are all just missing initials, and there's 3 of them. And you know what city and ward, please? City of Madison.
17. City of Madison, we're 17.
Everything's gonna be the city of Madison going forward. I think these are just 2-1, yes.
Okay, then Nikki has 2.
Oh.
All right, so these are both ones that were rejected that we believe they could be counted. This first one, they rejected this because the person already voted. However, it's a person with the same name at the same address. And you can see this is the one that was counted. They're different signatures. They just looked on the wrong line and rejected this incorrectly.
Did someone sign on the wrong line?
Nope,
Or they look on the
no,
wrong
they
line.
literally just looked at the wrong line. This is correctly this person, this is correctly this person. But when they looked this person up, they just saw this and then rejected this. But it's 2 different people. We've researched this after Election Day.
Like a mother-daughter kind of thing, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay.
The election officials. Right.
Yeah, the junior-senior thing is a
I
big
know.
issue.
It's always
I
an
mean,
issue.
So
Well,
that
this
happens
is-
a lot.
Yeah, I just want to, real quick.
Clarification.
No. So the envelope was rejected because it looked like they had voted.
Right.
And you didn't count the envelope, and now you want to count the envelope.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Perfect. That's very clear.
Yeah, count
Okay.
that.
And then,
Can I
sorry.
just ask you something? What's this mean?
So they rejected it at the end of the night and did not count it, and they just wrote that on there.
Okay, then this library was a voting place.
It was, yes.
Okay.
Okay. That one is done, and then I have one more. This was a mailed ballot that they brought to the library. Nancy Gathing is one of our election officials that was witnessing signatures, and she missed putting in the address. So this was her error, and they rejected it for not having witness address.
Yeah, so we would also object to it for not having a witness address.
I'm
2-1. It's okay.
Okay.
Should we open them and determine who
Yeah, you need
they
to
voted
cast
for
the
on the record?
ballots.
Well, that might be a secrecy issue, right? Because we've
Oh.
all seen it.
Yeah, I don't think we all need to be witnesses.
We don't need to see it, but don't you run it through the
Yeah, I
machine?
want to be with the envelope.
We were gonna open it back over there and separate them, so and put the ballots with the ones that need to be counted.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you
that's
so
good.
much for your time.